So we're going to be talking to Ryan Hanley today about action versus perfection. And if you have followed Ryan at all, you will know that he is a hit the ground running without knowing where you're going type of guy. Act first, ask questions later. And we're going to really get to the bottom of how this strategy has, one, proved to be successful for him, and two, if he thinks if he were to maybe spend a little more time with some things in the oven, if it would even lead to greater results. Obviously, a question that I'm interested in, asking him and my thoughts on this, and this is where I come down on the whole thing of action versus perfection. And it's twofold. One, I think that you need to be action oriented enough to always make sure that you're moving forward, yet you also want to be, I don't want to say cautious, but aware that if you were to give it just a little bit more time, a little bit more thought, then you might, you might end up with something that is 10 times greater than what you had originally thought of. Basically, just always, acting without, a clear roadmap might not be the best course of action. Take again, these first episodes here are very much a reflection of what I hope to get out of this, what I hope to be able to deliver to you. And, the most important thing that I do want you to do, from listening to these conversations with all these people and these fearless questions that we are asking them, is really to, act and do something that's going to lead to change in your life. But yet, before that you can do that, you have to understand what questions you want to ask and what direction you need to go in. And, just like I was talking about, with Marcus is, in breaking the rules, it's have you learned enough to know which rules to break? Well, have you learned enough to know where to take action? Now, again, any type of action over any type of complacency is going to win hands down. And you're not going to find me arguing against that. As I kind of have it in my head, it's kind of stuck. I'm trying to pull it out as I'm talking to you. But what I'm getting at is ultimately we're always in such a rush to do something. Or, on the other end, people are not willing to act at all. Those seem to be the two ends of the spectrum that are most apparent. And I guess I would kind of sit in the middle. So let's say Ryan is more action-oriented. I would be in the middle. And if I had to give you somebody that you might know, going to be a future guest on the show, Dustin Stott, he may be closer to the perfection side of things. And we're going to talk about, we're going to fearlessly question being a design snob. Fearlessly question being a design snob. There we go. So that would be kind of maybe the examples. I don't know if Dustin would agree with that or not. He might. But I'm kind of sitting in the middle. I'm saying, listen, I know I'm going to act. I know it needs to happen. I know that if I sit and do nothing, obviously nothing will happen. But I also know that if I spend, maybe 3 days instead of one on something, and I know that at the end of the 3 days, I'm going to force myself to move forward after that, maybe those 2 extra days will have given me something more than, I would have never been able to obtain had I just, again, put my head down and steamrolled forward. And that's really, at the end of it, what I think action versus perfection comes down to. And what I really want to get into with Ryan is how much action without responsibility is a bit of a heavy word, but how much action without that little extra care, without that little extra, let's put it this way, without that action, let's say, without jumping out of a plane without a parachute, let's say, you took the time to put the parachute on, how many times are people, how many lives are you going to get, I guess is the best way to put it. So how many times can you jump out of that plane without a parachute and land safely and be able to maintain that level of trust? Because I think that is at the core what it boils down to when there is too much action and not enough. Now, the word perfection is, again, a little heavy, but when there's not enough consistent, thoughtful follow through, if you launch too many ideas, are you going to just be known for that? Is that going to be the standard that you set for people? Is, okay, well, he's doing something new. Is this going to stick or what? So I think that's where, finding that fine line of, knowing what to do and when to act, I think is the ultimate thing that hopefully Ryan and I are going to get to the bottom of. And who knows, we might argue a little bit because we tend to go on opposite sides of things from time to time. So we'll see. It'll be a lot of fun. But come back to check out our live conversation with Ryan. He's got his own take for the week. That's coming up very shortly here. But join us. We will be here Wednesday, August 6th at 2 p.m. for the live conversation. Come be a part. Bring your fearless questions for Ryan. We might even let you hop onto the show and ask it directly to him if it's one of the better questions that we come across that day. So really looking forward to that. So hope you're ready. I'll see you then. Take it easy, everyone.